their stalls and sit down with them.
You always know about like indie things, like indie bookstore.
I have a woman inside my soul. Her eyes somber and sad. She waves her hand to try to reach me, but I can't hear what she says.
I'm noticing a lot of passive shame that I feel. I don't think that they evoke something violent within me, and I don't think that they disrespected the institutions and people which I imagine trampling on. I don't know why I didn't feel like that. This boy came up to me and he told me his name was Daniel. And he saw me crying and he very softly said, "I'm Daniel." Hope sparked within me because I thought maybe we could be friends or lovers or something. Not anticipatory hope, but hope like there are people out there who are like Daniel, who might be a horrible person, but right now is on the street being very nice to me. That clicked something in my mind because I've been thinking about what I want to give my energy to, and I want to make my time matter, and I want to have the awareness that my time matters. And when you do useless things, you tell yourself your time doesn't matter. When you're ashamed walking down the street, you tell yourself that you're an object worthy of shame, an object deserving of loathing and punishment. So I liked that, and I kept talking to him, and in the beginning I really wanted to hug him, and I began reconsidering my celibacy thing. He wasn't that attractive, but I took off my glasses, and because my glasses were off I couldn't see him very clearly, and I was able to look him in the eye, which is something I find myself not being able to do intuitively with white people. I make an effort to look them in the eye. I look everybody in the eye who I talk to, and I do this perhaps especially if I'm nervous. But with Daniel, I was really looking at him, and sometimes English boys get scared, right? Like when Tom and Hugo saw me really up close, like suddenly they were a bit scared, and that made me feel a little bit monstrous. But I'm starting to think about what I admire, and a lot of it isn't English or American, like long form content like this. So I looked at him and I didn't worry too much about being monstrous. And now I'm talking to you and making this long video, and it's not snappy like a lot of American commercial pop culture is, and it's not dishonest and snarky like a lot of English pop culture is. It's not gross, it's not stinking of baked beans and urine and sarcasm and rotting flesh. But I'm thinking I don't want to be friends with her. I'm thinking I don't have to be friends with anyone who can reject my pain. This is the best.
Oh, baby, maybe it's 1974 or 2002, 2016.
It's everything in between, even still. Heaven on earth in a few different ways. The dune grass grows high, 1995. the lake rises towards the corroding shore. Year after year, worn thin, 2 a.m. Come touch my skin, let's just begin. Hours walks to the grey clay pits, midday heat, Cabanose on the beach. Children with goggles searching for Kernoid, for sea glass, for children's treasure. Childlike, pure joy, eternity and forever. Big sticks in the hands of smaller boys to think, this land, my land, endless.
People are always like, you can date at any point in your life, and you right now should focus on school, right? And I've never gotten that, because I always felt like in relationships, it always just feels like everything feels very here and now. Like, there's this boy, and this is how he's feeling about me, and no one's ever acted this way before. And it feels new every time, and is new every time, and it feels rare. Sometimes the sensation of being loved has felt rare. But I just told this guy that I'm not looking to date this term, and pretty cool actually that I said that, because I decided in Pakistan that I want to be celibate for Michaelmas. And like I am doing that. Like, I turned down someone. I wondered what would I do if I was in that situation, and here's what I did. I told him I was flattered. I found out more about him. I told him I'm not looking to date this term. And he said, okay, I'll come back next term. And when I feel attractive, I feel like guys are it's so easy to have them be magnets, and have myself be a magnet for men. And what I've noticed is that when I'm in that situation, boys are suddenly a commodity that's very crass. When I'm in that situation, I find myself with boys who are into me, and it's flattering, but it's like I don't see them thinking very clearly. So I think I'm gonna stop eating from Greek guy, period. I think what I want more is friends who listen to the same music as me. And that sounds really juvenile, right? That's what I thought I wanted when I was 14. And I thought I was wrong for that, because I'd meet people who would listen to the right music, but they didn't have their heart in it. They'd listen to Adrian Lenker and they'd listen to the Smiths, but they would be very mean. And what I like about the music of the Smiths and Adrian Lenker is that it makes you feel less alone. But these people would just be as giggly and silly as everybody else, and they wouldn't have that extraordinary quality that such artists have, and that they reproduce in their work, and that they convince you that you too might have. But I think that I want to start surrounding myself more with people who don't make me feel this way. Because right now I feel really drained, and I feel old, and I'm sick of thinking of myself as someone who overthinks or someone who's severe. Because I'm a delight, really. I'm a joy to be around, and sometimes I forget it. And lately I've been surrounding myself with people who are constantly criticizing me, who would like me to remain fat, and don't encourage me to do things I want. I want to go into cheerleading. I want to lose weight. I want to be an overthinker. That's what I am. I'm an analytical person. I'm an intelligent person. I'm an empathetic person. I'm a curious person. And when you put all of those things together, perhaps the label which comes out of it is overthinker. But that's who I am. And I'm sick of having to prove to everybody how deeply secure I am, and how insecure I'm not. And I mean, everybody has insecurity, and I don't shame them for it. I certainly don't want to shame myself. I want to stop letting people into my room maybe too, and I just want to devote myself to rituals and not get so caught up in the kind of life that someone like Amal was living, where there's just wearing short clothes, eating, getting your money's worth in every sense, in every possible situation. And she revealed her character by her behavior after we stopped being friends. Like, when I stop being friends with someone, I don't go to their friend and I don't start bitching about them and I don't start having like these conversations about how insecure I found my friend and like all these like things, because I'm realizing she was insecure. She was insecure that I'm thinner than her, and she's always been insecure about me being intelligent. And I think that a lot of those insecurities came out because I never treated her differently. And I think she had secretly developed ideas about me. And I don't want to humor even the idea that, like, I don't even want to humor the idea that there's something in my behavior which needs to be changed. And that's different for me. Normally, I'm always questioning my behavior and introspecting and thinking how I went wrong. But I'm sick of these inane conversations. Maybe it does sound condescending, but I think these conversations are beneath me. I think I don't want to stick around and hear what the masses have to say all the time. And I don't have to spend my night or my day like I did today. I don't want to keep going to the dining hall and eating food. I don't want to make myself smaller and keep my opinions to myself all the time. I want to be around people who value my opinion and are interested in being challenged. People who are curious and exciting, and they don't limit themselves to what they're capable of. I mean, they say you become your friends, right? I don't know if I want to become these people at all. And I think maybe I will lose some friends along the way. But my vision for myself is to keep challenging myself and to become the person I want to be. I don't want to compromise on that vision just so other people don't feel threatened when they live their small lives. Here's the thing, I don't like who I become in her presence. I really don't. You know, we have the same jokes over and over again, and it gets so tiring. I hate like laughing at things that aren't funny, talking about things that have no consequence, avoiding real topics because she can't listen to me, and she talks only about herself, and I try to listen, but I'm sick of hearing about like her friends are bitchy or whatever, and the problems I see in her life over and over, and she doesn't seem to value my opinion. I tell her I think that's not a good way to live or something. She doesn't seem to see that. And I'm sick of eating so much. Like, you know, I have certain goals, and I think that I'm noticing that one kind of eating that's really common is social eating, and I don't know, I don't like Amal, and I don't know if this relationship is good. Like, I don't think it's contributing to my life. Like, having someone live near you should be like, oh, you can come into my room and it's like our own personal world and it's like, it's cool. It doesn't feel that way with her. And to be honest, it doesn't feel that way with a lot of my friends. But I can feel that way with myself. I can be like someone who's not critical towards myself. I can be someone who really listens to myself. And maybe what I should do is clean my room. Maybe I could sit in bed and think about what are the qualities that are really bothering me in Amal and this other friend of mine. And I think I will have an answer about the things I need to change about myself, like things I need to give myself and ways I could improve. So I hung out with Hugo's friend and I tried not to flirt with him, partly because out of respect for myself. I'm not the kind of girl who flirts with her ex's friends. And secondly, because I didn't find him very attractive. And I guess thirdly, because I'm not dating anyone this term. But I talked to him and I engaged with him and I tried to be friends with him outside of Hugo. And I'm realizing all of Hugo's friends are just like him. Like, I almost like missed Hugo a little less because I felt like I was talking to him again. All of his friends are confident. They're, well, not confident, they're public speakers. Hugo's friends are public speakers and they're all deeply obnoxious and they all want to be very special. And I was talking to this guy and he ordered this drink they didn't like very much because he said no one else orders it. And to me, that is like so not the point of anything. And he was like, I would do this even if this bar was empty. And I considered that and it seemed more forgivable. But that sounds even worse to me, that when no one's watching, you still feel the need to perform. And, now that I'm back home, I wonder, was I sociable? Did I display that I was pretty? Did he tell Hugo, like, she looked beautiful or she had a great rack or however boys articulate nice things to each other about the women that they were previously with? I don't know. But I thought about these questions. They seemed really important. And then I lost my keys and I came home. And a part of me felt a little bit guilty for talking to this guy. But I don't feel that guilty anymore. I saw the back of Hugo. I saw the back of like his white coat, and it's the most beautiful thing he wears. And I think it always makes him look good. He looks like a doll in that. Like there's certain clothes I wear where I feel a little like an American Girl doll, and he looks like the companion of an American Girl doll when he wears that white coat. But I just saw his back, and I asked a girl who was from Ukraine, and I'd never met before until I went to the bathroom, and I asked her if she could walk me out because I didn't want to bump into him. I didn't want to be seen like that. And maybe I should have just walked out on my own, but I didn't, and that's okay. I do want to lose weight, and I tried on this lovely dress this morning. I think when I go to Port and Policy, I'm going to wear that dress, and I want my stomach to not be coming out when I'm wearing it. And I think a lot about what people think. Like, sometimes I think about YouTube videos, I think, what if I have, like, people who watch my videos but they hate them, and they say really mean things, and they say, like, oh, she has an eating disorder, and they say the kind of things that Amal says. But it's like, I think I need to take advantage of the fact that I don't have that right now, and maybe I'll only get an audience like that and get that wide appeal when I'm ready for it. Right now I want to cultivate myself so I don't care what people think. Like, Hugo's so obnoxious and he just surrounds himself with people identical to him. The pauses, the laughter, the observations, the assurances to the other person you're talking to that you like yourself. Like the admission, I love myself. It just felt so contrived and so Hugo. So deeply deceitful. And suddenly I didn't like this guy very much, and I remembered why I liked Hugo less too. So I feel a little bit depressed. I'm feeling a lot of shame, and I'm feeling like there are so many things I have to do. I have to get in laundry. I'm feeling a little bit of envy. And I've been feeling this way ever since I met Hugo's friend Rafe last night at that bar crawl, and he follow requested me, and all morning I just thought about him, and I thought about how I don't like that kind of joviality which is accompanied by such a fierce sense of complete and utter isolation, which is adamant that everybody around that isolation also experience it, though such an effort is never conscious. It is intuitive and it is inevitable. My loss of poems. I really wish I had those poems, but I'm gonna have to write new ones. And I'm realizing that all of this worry about how am I gonna get done with printing and laundry, and how am I gonna make friends, a lot of this is just shame, right? It's shame and it's fatalism. And I can maybe just get my morning started.
Drove to Chicago. All things know. We sold our clothes to the state. I don't mind. I made a lot of mistakes in my mind.
There are two girls named Jocelyn with Chinese origin. Both are insufferable in different ways. Both of them I know because they go to Hatfield College. One of the Jocelyns is called Josie and the other is called just Jocelyn. And the one who's called Josie I met from the Conservative Society, and the one called Jocelyn I met from my accommodation in Chapel Heights. Both of them have started wearing really tight corporate shirts and I think they look really hot. And it reminded me of how I would feel if I was taller and how lovely it would be to look in the mirror and have like a figure coming out in a collared shirt. I would love that, especially because I have such lovely long hair and confidence, and you know, I'm a pretty girl as well, and I know how to do makeup. My toothpaste is almost finished. My conditioner is almost finished. It is teaching week 3 and I haven't been studying much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to record this. I always say this, right? Like I'm going to do this and this and this. And then sometimes I do this and don't do that. But I'm going to do this and this and this. So I'm going to get dressed and I am going to do my makeup because I have a Rocky Horror screening coming up. And I've never seen the Rocky Horror show, but I really want to. And I'm realizing what an opportunity it is to get to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, to get to just watch movies as part of my thing, and someone else manages it for me, and there's a community and people to talk to about it with afterward. And today I danced in my room because I got a little bit over Hugo. I just felt optimistic because I could see how little he mattered to me. So that's what's up. I'm gonna now do my makeup, and after I'm done watching the screening and I've gone to the social and had dinner with her, Karen, I'm going to sit in my room, calmly sit down, write about how I'm feeling slowly, with a cup of tea maybe, and once that is finished, I'm going to make a schedule for myself properly. It feels so hard and overwhelming to make a schedule, but you have to break things down to little tasks, like that woman at the Dharma Union was saying in her address that day. She was talking about how, you know, you just need to break things down when they seem difficult. Now, she was an attempted victim of honor killing, and she was raped and she was abused, and she went through a lot of pain. And she said you need to break it down, and she talked about being aloneness and being kind to other people. So last night, instead of leading Xavier on and making out with him, I simply told him that I'm not looking to date this term, but that he's a lovely boy and I'd like to be friends with him.
I'm in bed, laying down naked. He's inside of me. I love him, kiss his mouth, praying. He can't see what I see. When I close my eyes, you replace him, wearing no disguise. You erase him. I wanna feel guilty. I wanna feel that it's wrong. I wanna know peace again. Wanna sing a different song. I want you to need me. I need to want something more. He gives what he can, but now I don't know what he's given for. I'm in bed, laying down naked. You're inside of me. I love him, kiss his mouth, saying, oh yeah, baby, touch and touch and touch and touch me. I wanna feel guilty. I wanna feel that it's wrong. I wanna know peace again. Wanna
and I'm trying not to judge myself by November standards or the wax burn I have just below my nose, which is bothering me so. But October has ended, and I'd like to say a few words on it. I'd like to say them quickly because I have to study a lot today, and I intend to study a lot today and maybe even work out. And I want to get done with this today because tomorrow is November 3rd, and I will be 3 days living into November, and I don't want to talk about October then. Of course, October's aftershocks will reverberate through November, but it is important to me that I spend November in November. Yes, October and November are completely arbitrary concepts made up by human beings, and what separates them is the fact that they belong to the same year according to human standards, and what makes them different is that they are separate categories of time in the same year, but really months and years are no categories of time, and they don't really tell you anything. But what do I have to say about October? I started studying on the tail end of October, and I'm glad I did because I've been making schedules, trying to study for a long time, and I actually started studying. I'm still on the same book that I'm reading, but I want to track all the books that I'm reading in my course. I used to track the books I read recreationally, so I'd like to track these books as well. And I think that if I stick to a few things like reading my books and living this life which allows me peace and boredom, what will emerge from it will be something really cool. Something that I really commend my mother for is the fact that she allowed my sister and I to be bored. Growing up, we were allowed to be bored. We didn't have electronics much in the beginning, and I was encouraged to draw. And I invented lots of games with my dolls, very elaborate narratives. And because of that, I think a lot of good has come into my life. A lot of things my mom did have meant a lot of good things for me as an adult. But I specifically want to point toward the whole boredom thing because lately I am living a kind of pared down life. I'm saying no to events more, and I'm avoiding situations more that I would have thrown myself into. Instead of it, when it's cold, going out in a low-cut dress, I don't really feel tempted by what the cold and its people would have to offer me. I've always had this like FOMO, but I'm thinking that the kind of guy I want to marry will probably be American, and I'll meet him during my PhD or my master's. And in high school, I was looking for like a particular kind of guy, and I met those kind of guys in college, but not the particular kind of Joe Fontaine guy that I want. So before I meet this guy, I have lots of time, right? And I can spend this time reading books and cultivating myself and knowing myself. Not because I would think I will earn this guy precisely or to make myself perfect for him, though I might want to give him something if he's giving me something, if I love him. But I do want to cultivate myself because I think what I seek, what I hope I will get out of connections with others is this thing. And I think this thing that I want, I can access through novels. And this thing is connection. It's feeling not alone. It's understanding. It's redemption. It's engagement. And it's a whole lot of things, a host of things that I get out of reading. And sometimes when I'm reading The Blazing World by Margaret Cavendish for my degree, for the module, Renaissance literature, and yes, it's not Renaissance, it's Renaissance as Google told me under the American pronunciation. As I'm reading that book, I find myself bored, and I wonder if I've chosen perhaps the wrong degree. I don't know if it's the right degree, but maybe this isn't it. But I think if I read more novels, I'll realize this is the right degree. I saw this email Ocean Wong wrote to someone when he was studying business management. He said literature and writing were his passions. And I watched Three Idiots, and this kind of degree, literature, is what a lot of people don't allow their kids to pursue. But I'm here, and I can pursue it. And, you know, I think I've been swallowing other people's ideas so much that I forget what a luxury it is to study this degree, how lovely and redeeming it is, and how much I want to say thank you for getting to study this degree, to circumstances, to life, everything. But also I think that I forget that I can enjoy it and why I'm studying it. And I think reading books will do that. So I fasted for 16 hours November 1st November 2nd, I fasted for 18 hours, and for November 3rd, I want to do 24 hours, then 36 hours, then 40. I want to build up slowly like this, so it's sustainable. And October, we were talking about October, yes. Pretty good. October was pretty good. I feel more over Hugo, which is a plus. I heard somewhere that the amount of time you were with someone, like double that time, and that is the time estimate it will take for you to truly get over them. And I think I do take this seriously a little bit, maybe because I have found it to be sort of true in my experience, and it sounds like it makes sense, like mathematically and emotionally. Sounds about right. What is it? Is there a word for when you combine like logic and emotion that way? Perhaps it's wisdom, a deeper kind of intellect, a different kind of intellect that is not articulated only through one mode. Is it omniloquence, which is what Hugo accused me of having and what he liked in me, one of the things. I wasn't really being myself around Hugo. I wasn't talking like this, I was just sitting back and, being very classy and covering my glass and saying, and agreeing with him when he'd say something about Hitler, being like, yes, I also have that subversive opinion. And I think that the guy I want to be with, he won't want me to be like a sexy, slinky, jazz lounger. I think the guy I want to be with will treat me a little bit like a child. And by child, I don't mean like condescension and paternalism, which is what Hugo has offered me so much, and sometimes what I craved in his absence. No, I mean he'll treat me like a child because he too will be like a child, so we'll be equals and we'll parent each other. And what's that Adrian Lenker lyric? Like, there is a child inside of you who is trying to raise the child in me. I love that. I like the idea of two souls like holding hands. Human by Dodie, I don't know. And I think that I feel that the kind of person I want to be with will like dance with me and like will let me be flexible and take up so much space. Because with Hugo, even that car seat, I was just like, and I can't wait for fan fiction to be cool. I can't wait for these things to be cool. I can't wait for these people to chance upon the knowledge that I have right now in my hands, because that would be cowardly. So October was bravery. Sometimes starting bravery, attempting bravery. It was the first step, and I liked it. And I had my vitamins, and yeah. I kind of don't remember most of October a little bit. I'd like next time to, when I'm making that video, to be there more. I'd like to journal more, definitely, because I'm losing contact with myself, and I contact myself all the time through my planner, through my journal, through this video, through talking to myself, and through affirmations, and sometimes through other people. And I think if I do all other things enough, like journaling and talking to myself, then I won't need other people to have a conversation with myself. And I'll be able to talk to my mom without telling her about the boys I've kissed, to talk to my father without being angry at him, to talk to my sister without asking for advice, to talk to my friends without divulging parts of myself they wouldn't understand. So it goes. I'm trying to think, what was October? It happened. It wasn't very dramatic. Like, one thing I realized about October is this, actually. I was like pretty chill, like walking down the street. I didn't feel sick. Like I wasn't thinking about some boy and feeling sick down the street. I did kissing in October, which I'm happy about, but I also chose celibacy, which is so punk rock. I discovered in October that I'm not a prude, that I'm sexually adventurous, and that I like prudes a great deal, and that it's very cool to be a prude, actually, and that, like, nuns, like, they are so cool, and mark my words, this will be cool. Everything I do it becomes cool eventually. You know, as people grow up, they chance upon that knowledge which was just thrusted upon me at such a young age. I'm not being funny here. Okay, so it's November right now. I'm gonna go and live November. But this is how I feel about October. I'm glad I've been making these videos. I'm glad that I let myself start a thought and finish it. I'm realizing I'm weird and that Hurricane doesn't get that, but that's okay. Another thing that I'm realizing is that I don't want to spend too much time at the conservative society. I'm realizing that Josie's a loser. I'm realizing that Tommy and Andrew and like every like asshole in that society, I don't need to impress them, and they don't know how cool I am, and like it's kind of American how cool I am. But also, I'm also realizing this month I realized that America is also imperialist. When you think about 9/11, like I kind of forget that Americans can be racist too, and I'm realizing that I don't date Pakistani people, and that I'm a little bit judgmental, that I'm still a little bit colorist. I'm realizing that sometimes Audrey doesn't understand me, and she feels a bit severe and miserable. And I don't know if this is an accurate depiction of her. I think sometimes it just feels that way because maybe I'm projecting. Like sometimes, like I've been able to look at her with such kind eyes, and she seemed like just a little girl in pajamas. But other times she feels like she's trying to catch me. People go out and I hear them outside my room. They're like partying, and it's okay. And sometimes I feel old. And I have some materials which will make November a success. I have, you know, Coke, Diet Coke, not that kind of Coke. I have chia seeds and look at that. I have chia seeds and apple cider vinegar. I have new clothes coming in. I also have 78 pounds in my bank account, and that scares me. I want to go skiing to the Alps. And well, October was October. I met a bunch of people, okay, and I kissed some people, and I chose celibacy, which is the good thing. And I started studying, and what I'd like for November, yeah, we've talked about October. What I'd like for November is to work out consistently, journal consistently, get down my readings, stick to my schedule, continue being brave, continue being like this. And, you know, a lot of like people like Avesta, because they're gay, they think it's okay, especially with guys. I don't know what's the tendency among lesbians, especially these guys. They feel like because they're gay, they can just talk to you however they want. They can be bitchy and mean. But that's not okay with me, because you know what? No one should talk to me that way. You know, regardless of what oppression cards they have in their pocket, no one should talk to me like that. And Hugo seems so far away right now. Like, I do feel the beginning of that sensation that I wanted. The beginning of the return to myself. I'll see you in the next one. This one. You'll see me. Or I'll see you. Good luck. Darling Dorothy, dazzle me.